Good morning, students. This is your moral teaching period. Today we will learn lesson number 2, King Midas. So, student, everyone take out your book and write down date and quotation. Today's date is 29th August 2020 and quotation is Hope is Life. So, you have to write down the date and quotation in very neat and clean handwriting. So, let's start the story. Midas was a king who had enormous wealth. Student, meaning of enormous is a very large quantity, huge quantity. Okay. Wealth means richness or money. Midas was a king. He had a lot of money. His kingdom was very large, but he was not happy. Although his kingdom, his estate where he ruled, it was very large and he had a lot of money, but he was not happy. He wanted more wealth and riches. He wanted more and more money. So he was not happy. King Midas had a lovely little daughter. He had a daughter. She was very pretty. Like all parents, he also used to love his daughter very much. Student, like your parents, they love you too much, like like your parents. Midas also loved his daughter very much. She was the apple of his eye. Midas daughter was a apple of his eye means precious. She was very precious to her father. The king wanted to give a lot of wealth in his daughter's marriage, so he started praying to God to give him a boon, that whatever he touches should turn into gold. Midas had a lot of money, but he wants more money. Why? Because he wants a lot of money for his daughter's marriage. So he every day prays to God. For what? Because he wanted a boon from the side of God. By this boon, he By this boon, he wanted everything turned into gold. Boon means blessing. Okay. Since God was pleased with his prayer, so every day he do prayer. At last, God was pleased to him. He granted him the boon. Pleased means happy. Okay. He granted him the boon. God gave him the boon. God gave him the blessing. Midas was very happy. By this blessing, Midas became happy because he got a blessing. He began moving around on the palace, touching everything and turning it into gold. He moved around his palace. He moved everywhere in the palace, touch everything and turning it into gold. He touched the tree of apple, it becomes gold tree. Suddenly, he realized that he was hungry. He clapped his hands and the servants came running. The king asked them for food. As soon as he touched the food to eat, it turned into gold. The king was filled with horror and surprise. Students, suddenly he realized that he was hungry. That means he started feeling hungry. So, as we have seen in the movies, that when a king sits on his throne, then he claps his hand to call his servant. So, King Midas clapped his hand and the servants came running to him. The king asked them for food. The king ordered them to bring food for him. As soon as he touched the food to eat, it turned into gold. The blessing that he received from the God, that everything he touches turn into gold, that was turning into reality, and his food also turned into gold, and he was unable to eat his food. The king was filled with horror, surprise. The king got scared and he was also surprised. He was so confused that when his lovely daughter came to him, he was very unconsciously picked her up. Alas, his daughter too turned into gold. Student, he was too confused when he could not eat his food. So after his daughter came running to him, he was very unconsciously, without knowing, that on touching her she would turn into gold. He picked her up and to his surprise, his daughter turned into a gold statue. It means King Midas' daughter became a statue of gold. This was something unexpected and shocking. He began crying in disgust. He wanted gold not for himself but for his daughter. Now, what was the use of all that gold? He cried and pleaded God to give back his daughter. But the harm was already done. Student, this was something that he never expected. He was too shocked to see his daughter turning into gold. He started crying. He thought that he never wanted gold for himself. He always wanted it for his daughter. But now his daughter has turned into a statue. So what will he do with the gold that he wanted for her? He requested God to return his daughter back, but she had already turned into gold and the harm was already done. So, children, be content with whatever you have done. Don't be greedy. If you are greedy, you will never be happy. A greedy person can never get peace of mind. Remember, contentment is the greatest pleasure. So, students, you should always be satisfied with what you have. For example, if you have one pencil, then just be happy with that. You should never be greedy in want of the pencil or the number of pencils that others have. A satisfied person is always happy. The story of King Midas teaches us about the dangers of being greedy. So, the moral of this story is don't be greedy in life. Be happy with what you have. So, student, I hope you have understood the story. Now, let's do the exercise. First of all, write down the date and quotation again. Okay. Then, exercise, question number 1. Answer the following question. What did King Midas want? A King Midas want a lot of wealth. Number 2. Why did King Midas want a lot of wealth? The answer is for his daughter's marriage. Number 3. What did Midas do when he was granted the boon by God? Student, he turned everything to gold. Number 4. What happened when he touched the food to eat? The food turned into gold. Last, why did he start crying in the end? Because his daughter turned into gold. Exercise B. Fill in the blanks with the correct words given below. Student, there are some words you have to fill the blanks with these words. Number 1 is pleasure, enormous, boon, happy, content. Number 1. King Midas wanted enormous wealth. Number 2. God granted Midas the boon, a blessing. Number 3. Be content with whatever you have. Be satisfied, okay? Number 4. If you are greedy, you will never be happy. Number 5. Contentment is the greatest pleasure. Number 3. Paste the picture of your parents. Student, there are two blocks. You have to paste the picture in these blocks. Mother and father. Okay. Number 4. Write about your parent. Student, here you write your father's name, mother's name, Okay, then your father's age, mother's age, your father work is. Okay, and your mother work is. Here, your chapter is completed. You have to read the chapter carefully and do the exercise and learn the exercises also. Moral of this story, again I am telling you moral of the story, don't be greedy in life, be happy with what you have. Thank you, stay home, stay safe.